Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on uncovering the real-time analytical insights within Simple Fund 360. My name is Rocco Agostino. I'm one of the account managers at Bgl. I've been at Bgl for 11 years, so it's been quite a fantastic journey to see Simple Fund evolve to what it is today. I can recall the day when we're all in a room and Simple Fund 360 was just a sketch on a whiteboard. But seeing what it is today makes me, proud to be part of the journey. So it makes me even prouder to be part of Education Week, especially showcasing key features within Simple Fund 360. So Education Week got off to a fantastic start with Anthony Costa and Aaron Dunn, starting with building the foundations of your SMSF knowledge course earlier this morning. Then we had how to set up an SMSF in Simple Fund 360 delivered by Emily. I know we got a lot of insight into how to input opening balances into Simple Fund 360 when starting out. And now it brings us to today's webinar, uncovering real-time analytical insights within Simple Fund 360. So here's the schedule for Education Week this year in 2022. So we've basically covered the first two sessions early today. We're on to our third one, and then we move on to our others for the rest of the week. The reason I bring up this slide is just to show you what's coming up, but also to let you know that you can still register for these webinars, but by doing so, you will also receive a recording to the webinar. So that's why I bring up this page, just to remind you that you don't have to be available during these times when these webinars are run. You can still register and you will receive a recording at the end of the webinar. Just a bit of housekeeping things before we do get started. All attendees have been placed on listen-only mode. The reason that we've done that is just to ensure that everyone has the equal opportunity to hear me clearly this afternoon without any background disturbance. That's the only reason I've done that. But I do have the Q&A panel open in your Zoom toolbox there. So the communication channels are open. You can communicate with myself and about another 7 or 8 of my colleagues that are waiting to answer your questions throughout the session as well. So I do encourage questions to come through throughout the session as you may have them, but we will have time at the end to answer any questions as well. As I said at the start, I just want to reiterate is that this webinar is being recorded. All attendees and registrants will receive a link to this recording, and it will also be posted on the community and the Bgl YouTube channel. Today's content, what we want to do is we want to understand what analytical insights is, the benefits of analytical insights, and then we'll basically have a look into entity workflow, exporting information out of entity workflow to Excel. We'll look at analytical insights view, which comprises of account view and transaction view there as well. And again, exporting the data to Excel, which we're all familiar with and which is all fantastic. What I want everyone to sort of think about as I'm going through today's content is how am I currently obtaining the data that I'm going through? So for example, it'll be no secret, I can share what we'll be going through is basically how to identify clients that have gone over their concessional contribution cap. How to identify clients that are about to go over their cap. How to identify clients that prior to 30 June haven't met the minimum pension drawdowns for the financial year. How am I currently doing that? Just think how. What level of service am I offering my clients when it comes to this? Am I being proactive? Am I reacting and telling them after the fact, or am I telling them before? Also, from a planning perspective, we can sort of see clients' age within the database. How are we planning for them to go into retirement? So we'll look at that as well. So what we're trying to do with analytical insights is basically identify opportunities that you can unlock within your data and opportunities to have meaningful conversations with your clients as well. So without further ado, that will be the last slide. The rest is all in Simple Fund 360. So I'll end the slideshow there for now, and we'll log into Simple Fund 360 within the entity workflow screen. But before we do get started, the purpose of Education Week was to show you the main features of Simple Fund 360 and the services that the software does offer. But it also wants to educate you on how to use our help resources to your advantage. So we do have a whole heap of help resources that have been developed to assist you along the way in Simple Fund 360. So I'll just start off with that, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of Analytical Insights. So basically, we've got the help here, very easy, to the Knowledge Center. You simply type in what you're after. We'll say pensions, for example, and it will come up with all our pension articles there. This is included in the subscription. There is no fee to use this. I always get that question as well. Then what we have is my favorite is live chat support. Live chat support is also complimentary. There is no fee to use live chat support. There is unlimited live chat support, and it is during business hours from 9 to 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or Australian Daylight Time when we are in daylight savings. So you can request a live chat support. The beauty about this is you will receive a response within 30 to 40 seconds of typing in your question. We sort of bring up the commonly asked questions. So our bot basically picks up the commonly asked questions coming through the chat and brings up the articles there. If that's not what you're after, simply click on get in touch and our consultants will be in touch within 30 to 40 seconds. We also offer the traditional support. Again, this is complimentary. There is no fee for accessing this feature. So it's unlimited support, again, during business hours in Australia. So you can simply click on that, search what you wish to search for. So let's say pensions again, search for that, haven't found what I'm after, submit a support call. Simply select what your issue is in relation to there. So let's say it's reconciliation of pensions there. Basically, upload a picture, upload a file if you wish to upload a file, and then type in the description there, and off you go. Submit support call, and our consultants will contact you based on the correspondence method that you've selected above. Doesn't end there though. We've still got some more support we can offer you. We have the Bgl Learning Channel. So the Learning Channel is a great tool when onboarding new staff, especially when onboarding new staff. It basically gives them an insight into the software and the foundation knowledge that they need to use the software to the best of its abilities. So definitely put new staff through the Learning Channel. Also for experienced users, I've been using Simple Fund since it was released. I still refer to the Learning Channel when new features are released, just so I keep up to scratch and polish my knowledge and make sure it's up to scratch. So it's a great tool to use to build your knowledge and maintain your knowledge. Every user in Simple Fund 360 has access to this. It's a separate user account for each user. So based on the courses that you do, it will keep a timeline of that specific to you, so you won't interrupt anybody else. So again, that is complimentary in the software. There's no fee for that. It is there for you. What we also have is the Bgl Community. So the community is a place for like-minded individuals like yourselves to come, collaborate, share ideas, work together to find solutions. So we learn off each other. We've got a powerful network of users now with using Simple Fund 360. So definitely leverage that knowledge that you guys have, share on the community, and basically we'll all be better for it as well. So we can see here, we've got 412 topics for Simple Fund 360. And one of the biggest ones I've seen is basically we've got 35 replies for the BHP and Woodside merger and 537 views. It's fantastic just to see the input that our clients have had onto this. So I do encourage you to use this. Feel free to start a new topic if you wish. We encourage that. Definitely start a new topic and see how many people you can get commenting and viewing your topic there. It's fantastic, and you can comment. My favorite thing about the community is updates, release notes. We put all our release notes on the community there. So you can see the views with the release notes are just through the roof, given them being release notes. So you can see there, new features update on the 7th of July. We click on that very quickly. We can see what's been added there as well. Fantastic. There, you can add a reply. So you can share something that you like about the release notes. Give us a thumbs up that we've done a good job. So feel free to subscribe to this. It's a fantastic database. And lastly, we also have our Bgl YouTube channel. Yes, YouTube. We're on YouTube as well. No cat videos here on the Bgl one though. It's purely product related. So as you can see, we've got our best practice webinars here for Simple Fund 360. There's 23 of them. We have our tips and tricks. There's 12. We've got our partner webinars there as well, which I think are important, or I believe are important, because basically you can leverage your ecosystem with Simple Fund 360 and ensure you're getting the most out of the products that you currently have in your tech stack with Simple Fund 360. So there's 134 partner webinars there. Have a look. If there's a provider that you're using, integrate it with Simple Fund 360. Get the benefit from both products being integrated. It's there. It's all on our YouTube channel, all there 24/7, ready for you to use. So again, we've invested a lot in these resources and we do encourage you to use them to the best of your ability. So let's get back to what we're here to discuss this afternoon. So purely we're here to look at Analytical Insights and what it can do for you. So we'll focus on this main screen known as the workflow screen. So it's the screen when you log into Simple Fund 360 that you're presented with, but we don't do much with it. We basically just select a fund and off we go. But this screen is very, very powerful. What we can do is we can collapse the panel and start to unlock the power of this particular screen. So we've got a few metrics that we can use or parameters that we can use to dig through our data. I'm not going to dig through the data using every single one. I'll give you guys the opportunity once you've ended, this webinar has ended, you can basically go through and check this on your own database. I will focus on my favorite ones. So basically my favorite ones, as I said at the start, are the contribution ones. Very powerful tool indeed here. So again, if you are registered for Education Week, ensure you're registered for the webinars that are tomorrow. So the bank data, share data, and smart matching, because this Analytical Insights feature and fund workflow feature leverage off the data feeds, ensuring that the data is in the software and it's there, ready for us to start digging through. So we need to attend those webinars or watch those recordings if you can't attend, because those services work hand in hand with this to ensure you've got the best data available for you. So I want to identify, see how my funds are tracking with their contribution caps. So I can see quite quickly my concessional contribution cap. There is one fund that has a member that is over their cap. Simply click on that, and it quickly identifies the fund that has an issue. Great, I've identified the fund. I can then expand the fund and see which member has gone over their contribution cap for 2022 financial year in this case. So you can see I've contributed 28,000. My cap was 27,500. I'm $500 over the cap. Again, you're starting to see the power that you have within the software. Quite quickly, I've identified this without having to do too much strenuous work. This allows me to be more proactive rather than reactive. So before the end of the financial year, maybe in April, you start to look at this. You identify a problem, you can easily correct it before it's too late, before 30 June comes past. So again, very powerful. Just think about, how would you normally go about doing this? Do you keep external spreadsheets? Do you you tracking this externally? Don't have to. It's all within the software, within this main screen. And you saw how quickly I identified that one there. So I'll reset all of this. Let's move on to the next one. Non-concessional contribution cap. I want to identify how many clients could potentially breach the cap, go over the cap. Me, being a good fund administrator, I want to provide the extra level of service to my clients. I want to be able to tell them before the fact, before it happens, rather than telling them after 30 June, oh, by the way, you've gone over your non-concessional contribution cap. Just think of the level of service you can offer to your clients, how appreciative that would be that you've given them that information before it's too late. So quite quickly, I can see I've got 5 funds with members that are almost at the limit. So I can click on that. Those have been identified. I've identified the 5 funds, similar to what I did before. I can click on a fund to expand and see which member is at the limit. So I can see that Anthony Costa is at his limit, or John Snow is at his limit here. I can contact him, tell him you're at the limit, don't contribute anymore. Very quickly. What we can do from here as well is fantastic. I've got my results on screen, but what we can do is we can export this to Excel. I haven't seen an accountant that doesn't like Excel, so we've built Excel into here. So basically what you can do is click on download. We're focusing on contribution data here. So we want to download the contribution data to Excel. We've downloaded that to Excel. Because we can expand all of that. We can see everything that we've got here. We can expand all the information. So definitely below the cap because they're almost at the limit. So it would be below the cap. So you can sort of see everything that they've done throughout the year. It's all there. The beauty about this is if you have an email address input, it's all there. You basically, now I've got the data, let's notify the client. Let's send them an email of what we've just found, that they're about to go over their non-concessional contribution cap. Fantastic. It's all there in Excel. And you saw how quickly I've identified all of that. Same sort of idea with the one I did before. I sort of rushed through the first one, but over the cap, I can download to Excel. Again, it's contribution data. And I've identified that very quickly through here. So I can see over the cap. And then as accountants, we're all fantastic with Excel. You can add a filter, just a filter by over cap. And then you scroll towards the right, as I said before. And if there was an email address in there, you could email the client directly through there as well. So very quickly, you've got it in Excel. Manipulate it to suit your needs. We definitely encourage you to do that. So you can see all these opportunities to provide a better service to your clients. So if you're not already doing so, try to implement some of this into your daily workflow. My other favorite one, pension status. Minimum not met. I have 10 funds. They have members that are in pension that have not met their minimum for the 2022 financial year. Again, I click on that. I re-expand it. Go into my fund. Mary, who is in pension, she hasn't drawn down enough to meet her minimum pension requirements for the year. What we do, she's got 2 pension accounts, so we break both pension accounts up for you. So basically, we tell you at a combined level what she needs, what the minimum is, what she needs to draw down, what she has drawn down as a combined drawn down figure. So we combine it for you. But then what we also do is we break it down per pension account, so down to that granular level, so you can report on it and provide detailed information to your client. So we can see here, Mary's drawn down $100. She needs to draw down $2,190 to meet her minimum pension requirements for this pension account. For the bottom one, hasn't drawn down anything. She needs to draw down $2,560 to meet her minimum pension requirements for this year. Fantastic. We've identified that. We can now tell Mary, find how happy will Mary be? We're telling her that she needs to take more money out. Who wouldn't be happy about knowing that they'll have an extra $4,850 in their pocket to spend? Fantastic. We all know who the favorite accountant on the block will be after that. But basically, again, we can download all of this information to Excel. This time, it relates to pension information. So we can select pension and download all of that very quickly to Excel. You saw how quickly that was. So we've got all that information there again. So we've got the pension status, pension start date, sorry. So we've got all the information in here. Probably what we want is the pension status. Minimum not met. Fantastic. It's all in here. Again, we've got the email addresses there. So you can quickly email your clients and tell them about this. The figures are all in here as well. All here. It's all in here. So you can use this information to advise your clients. It's all there. Very powerful. And the last one I will show you is more from a planning perspective. So if you want to do a check on your member ages, for example, within the database, simply select one of these. Doesn't matter which one. It makes sense in the moment. Why not? Because then what you can do is you can click on the parameter and tell it to suit your needs. So as of today's date, what are the ages? So I want to know all my members between the age of 60 and 65. Hit apply. It will show me which funds have members between that age range. I can expand. It will show me. I click on people, and it will tell me the people in that fund, pensions, contributions for those ones there. So I've got the age there, 68, 61, there. So this sort of helps with planning. Should I start telling this client about thinking about retirement? Do they have enough money to retire in the fund? Again, providing that extra level of service to your clients. So rather than them coming to you, you would go to them with this information and get them to start thinking about it as well. So what I've showcased here is nothing out of the ordinary. It's basically your data. Your data is a gold mine. There are little nuggets in there that before we couldn't find. So basically what you've probably heard of these terms, AI, artificial intelligence, big data. That's what this is. We're basically taking complex data and presenting it to you in an easy to read fashion. And what we're doing is allowing you to make data-driven decisions. Most decisions today in the 21st century are data-driven. Again, utilize this power. Make better decisions based on the data that you have. So this is your data. We're not making this up. This is all your data. And what you're doing is just mining that data to find what you're after, to make a better decision, to provide a better service to your client. This is what we're doing with Analytical Insights in the workflow screen here. So let's click on Account View. Just think about it. Big data. Sounds like a foreign term, but what it is basically grabbing all this data from multiple sources and presenting it in an easy fashion for us to understand and then make informed decisions on the data. So that's all we're doing here. So if we click on Account View, it brings up Account View. Trial balance, another favorite report of accountants. They love trial balances, or we love trial balances. What we've done is we've made a live trial balance in Account View. And what I like particularly about this report is that we show current year balance versus last year balance and units for any unitized investments. The beauty about this is, again, we're looking to find potential problems, identify areas where an issue may have arisen. So what we can see here is, hang on, last year there was no contribution, but this year there's a $28,000 contribution. Seems interesting. Why is that? Already rings alarm bells. Where the live part of this comes into it, you can click on that. It comes up with me, $28,000 contribution. No surprise there because we looked at it before, but assume we didn't. Okay, now it makes more sense. I remember Rocco called me up. Sounds weird I called myself, but let's assume different person. Called me up and said, I've decided to go back to work. I don't think I've got enough money in my super balance isn't enough to see me through. So I've gone back to work. Makes sense. That's why the $28,000 is there. It wasn't there last year. Again, I can go to it down a further level. I can click on that and it will show me the transaction or transactions that make up that $28,000. I was quite fortunate. It was one transaction there. So nice sum to be put into super in one big hit there. So you've got that one there. So again, you can see the power of this. What I will do is I'll just bring where there's a little bit more data. We've got shares and listed companies Australia. Got a truckload of data here. Fantastic. Let's pick on BHP. We can see we've got a lot more data compared to my single contribution from before. So we've got it all here. Great, fantastic, it's all there. We can manipulate this data and dig through this data even further if we wanted to. So I've got a few filters up the top. So you can arrange the data based on any of these parameters here. I won't go through them all. They're pretty self-explanatory and you can go through these once this webinar is finished in your own database. But we also have a link to the transaction here. So if you ever wanted to query anything, you can simply open up the link and it will take you to the transaction. Fantastic. Easy, quick. Don't have to do too much work. What we also have in here is you can customize this view. We've given you the default view, but you can click on move and freeze columns. So what we've got is we've got fixed columns, scrolling columns, and hidden columns. These hidden columns reference the more details panel in Simple Fund 360. So when you're coding to 77600, most of this information is in more details. Just to show you, is I can use my contribution one from before, move and freeze columns. You can see the hidden columns here, types of contributions, all listed in the more details panel. So again, it's live, it's reactive based on what you're looking for. So again, what you can do is you can add something to the fixed column. So I want to see the unit price in the fixed column. Fantastic. Just added that in. It's there. Unit price. It's all listed in there. I can then add something to the scrolling column. Let's say, for example, contract number. I can add that in. And what we mean by scrolling column is that these ones on the right, you can go left and right to scroll. So there's your contract number there. Fixed, these are fixed. You can't move those. They just stay there on screen. We also have detailed filters, so you can filter this again, even further, using these filters, less than, greater than, between, whatever. Go crazy. You can definitely apply multiple filters. You're not bound to just choose one, multiple filters to find what you're after. And my favorite here, again, you can download this result set based on how you filtered it to Excel. How fantastic is that? Look at that. A few seconds and you've got that to Excel. You can use it to reconcile. Multiple uses this report has. So if you're reconciling, definitely use it. It's fantastic. It's all there for you to use and manipulate in Excel. So again, big data, grabbing all that data and presenting it in a meaningful way to you. Again, this one you can use to identify any potential issues using the last year and current year balances as well. What I will do is I will show you this date field here as well. So the date field represents the financial year that we're currently in. Beauty about this is you're not bound by what's locked in fund details. You can change this. 17, 18. I'm not bound by what's in fund details. I can bring up a trial balance, live trial balance for any financial year. Great, fantastic. I've got it all here. And as you saw, you can export it to Excel. So you can grab anything from here and export to Excel and compare it with the next financial year, the current financial year, whatever you need to do. So it's, yeah, quite a strong tool there. We also have entity view in here. So entity view, not a mirror image, but close to being a mirror image of our entity workflow screen. So it's exactly the same data, just presented differently. It comes down to personal preference if you do your reporting in entity workflow or in Analytical Insights and then the entity tab there. Results are the same. So I've got over the cap for concessional contributions, still my fund, and it will still be me being over $500. Nothing's changed. Same data, just different way or different user interface of reporting on it. So definitely use this as well because it's quite powerful. You're not losing out on anything. You can still download to Excel. It's all there. It's fantastic. Now, one of my favorite features in here, transaction view. So let's set the financial year before we start. To 30 June. Apply. Great. So we apply our financial year. There. This tool is extremely powerful. This, if anything else, if nothing else explains big data, this does. This will get your head around it. So here we're digging through all the data in the software to find the specific thing that we're looking for. So the way we classify or help dig through the data is we classify the accounts by balance sheet items and income statement items. Let's think about it. Let's use the example that I used before. BHP and Woodside Petroleum. We know there's a merger there. we want to know which funds held BHP during the 2021-2022 financial year. Think about it. How would you currently do this? I'll show you. You can do this very quickly in Simple Fund 360. A few clicks, and within a minute or so, or even less, we will have our answer. So the question is, which funds for the 2021-2022 financial year held units in BHP? So what is BHP? We know it is an investment. So we'll come up with all the investments in our database. This will be different in your case. This picks up the investments in your database. This is database specific. So don't go back expecting to see this or a list this small. Could be bigger, could be smaller. It's dependent on your database. We know that it is a share in an Australian listed company. So we can click on that. And there we go. We have BHP. And then quite quickly, on the right-hand side, we can see all the funds that held BHP for that period. What we can do is click on Download to Excel, all entities. And we have our answer there. Very quickly. Very quickly. I encourage you to try this. If you don't believe me, try it, and you will see how quickly you can mine your data. We've got our answer there. These are the funds that I need to ensure are processed up to date. And then I can go in and process the corporate action for these particular funds. Very easy. You saw within a few seconds, we've generated that particular piece of information there. Let's reset all of that. The other one that I normally get asked is, how many of my funds have loans, limited recourse borrowing arrangements in place? What is that? It's a liability. We don't have any in this case. Fantastic. Don't need to do anything. It means none of my funds have loans. So again, you could sort of start to see, you're asking yourself questions and you can find your answers quite quickly. Mine's a no. Fantastic. We can also drill down on income statement items. So income. So we want to know which funds received distribution income for a certain investment. Very easy. We can click on income, distributions received, and we will go to the GPT group. 2 funds. So what this allows us to do is identify funds that we will need to go in and input the annual tax summary data in. Again, another great feature in Simple Fund 360 is the tax automation feature. So basically this Friday, Daniel will be going through and showing you how to utilize that feature. But now we know that these 2 funds for GPT, we need to go in and process that tax data. Where does this become powerful? Is that if GPT was a non-listed investment, what we could do, and Daniel will go through this in his webinar on Friday, is we can create a template with tax data in it to apply to these funds. So rather than going through fund by fund and inputting the tax data or the data manually, we can create a template and apply it across all the funds that hold that non-listed investment or unlisted investment. Very powerful. So you can see, you can dig through data and say, okay, I've got 5 funds. I'm going to invest the time to make a template. I only have 1. I'm not going to make a template. It's not worth it. I'm just going to enter in the tax data for that particular fund as it is. Starting to see the benefits of all of this. And we also have income for a member. So for example, contributions. So you want to see all the members that have contributed throughout the year. There you go. They're all there. I'm fortunate to be one of them. Again, and everything can be exported to Excel. Just keep that in mind. Okay, we've looked at that. So account classification. One of my other favorite items is transaction information. This gives you a whole heap of information that is very valuable. So we're looking at the transactions themselves. So we want to know transaction status, user manual input. So how many transactions have been put in manually by a user? There's my answer. So let's say, for example, Anthony SMSF. I click on view 221 entries. I can see that all these entries here have been put through manually by someone. We'll find out who that someone is in a moment. Very quickly, we can dig through all of that data. We can see how many auto match transactions have come through very quickly. So I'll just group that by entity. All in my funds. So we've got 5 entities that have been 5 entries that have been automatically matched. What is the system doing? Essentially keeping the system accountable here. We've got transaction source. Where have the transactions come from? Definitely look at this. This is gives you a fantastic insight into your data and where it's coming from. So I've got transaction source. Let's say smart data entry. So using smart docs, which will be covered in Tuesday's webinar, Tuesday afternoon's webinar. If I had bank feeds, it would show bank feeds. What's come through manual entry? I can see what's been manually input all through there. It's a very powerful tool. Now, everyone's favorite here is, has Rocco actually been doing work? So I can click on my username and it will show me, okay, I've only done 16 entries in one fund in this database. So I can click on view 16 entries and they're all the entries that I've put through in this particular fund. So keeping the user accountable now. And you can see which funds they've been working on. So I won't choose myself because obviously I've been slacking off a little bit. Let's try Anthony Costa here. He's been working on 2 entities. And we can select and see what entries he has put through. Again, very powerful tool to look through your data there. Very powerful. And as always, the result set is exportable to Excel. So what I've done this afternoon is I've showcased the power of analytical insights, how it marries up with those buzzwords, AI and big data. But what I want to ensure is that I've instilled confidence in you guys to go back, explore these features. Because talking with clients, they normally say, I'm a bit fearful of breaking something or something going wrong and having to spend hours to fix it. I've got some good news. Everything that I've shown you here this afternoon, you cannot break anything. You can see I've just reset everything. It's gone back to normal on my screen. There is no risk of you damaging your data or manipulating the data in any way, shape, or form. All you're doing is setting parameters to find nuggets, as I like to call them, in your data. That's all you're doing. So I just want to give you that inspiration to go in, play with the feature, extract some data, export to Excel. Might not be right the first time. Let's try a second time. But in doing so, you're not actually breaking anything. You're just learning, finding a new way of utilizing these features. So I do encourage you to go in and utilize these features. They are there. They are powerful. And as I said, most decisions these days are data-driven decisions. These tools will ensure that you have the right data to make the best decisions for your clients and have the best conversations with your clients. Just imagine pulling up that data, as I said before, you have not met your minimum for this financial year. This is how much you need to draw down to meet your minimum. Amazing. Your clients will genuinely love you. You've just saved them a whole heap of tax because they can keep their pension exception for the fund. Just think about it, how all this can be introduced in your daily workflow. So we've got the Bgl community I spoke about before. We're quite passionate about this. We want you guys to get on there because we think you guys can learn or believe you can learn from each other and your experiences. You're industry professionals. So share your experiences, share your knowledge with one another. As I said, we're powerful together. Together, we're more powerful. So we do encourage you to sign up to the community. Community, it's a great way of, even if you don't sign up, still go onto the community page. You can view everything, but you just can't post or create new topics just to view. Doesn't cost you anything. go on there, see what the others are thinking, and yeah, see what's going on. But we do encourage you to join. It's a fantastic tool that we recommend that you do use. On behalf of myself and BGL, we'd like to thank you for attending this webinar as part of the series of Education Week webinars this week. We hope you took something away from it, and we hope to see you in the other webinars. We sincerely thank you for spending the time, and we wish you the best for the rest of the day and the afternoon. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Enjoy your afternoon, and goodbye.